I'll take the delegation. What is required, you brief us. Amit, we know that. And I think so we have the profession in the craft, they have attained excellence by way of their work. Your work actually speaks and speaks about your credibility. So I feel that we can that this is not something new. It has been happening for decades and decades. But the only thing is there is one dialogue. That we accept everything that is thrown at us. This acceptance has to be rejected. This acceptance you will get all, you will be covered under federal law, you will come under state and that. That acceptance of your fate and to watch this kind of not be used is derogatory to my thing. But it has come to be occupied, and I think we must have somebody who can be a bridge and perhaps our spokesman also. So Divyadi, would we like to hear from you two words?
I'm very touched after seeing that documentary. As you all know, I come from the IT background, elections from an area called Dharavi, which is Asia's largest jhoppadpatti or the slum. Two things I would realize that behind the glamorous world, there is a very dangerous world. I acted in a small serial, I don't remember it, but it was, the production house was Hema Malini's. And they made
Sushant, and he seemed to be indeed a very good administrator, having been the collector. Now he's looking after two jobs. He's on upgradation, skill development, and also met Mr. Chani. I was telling him the other day, when the last conference he had come, if you recall, 4 months back, he said within 2 months' time I'll have ambulances in Film City. I think the first step is for the Film City, because Film City is state-owned. I think Film City is such a large space, 4,000 people working, not having. We take pride in saying that here is a man who, from this city, from the state of Maharashtra, we're all somewhere inspired by that innovative, I call him an innovative master of Indian cinema. And somewhere down the line we feel that Film City, the government should, why doesn't the MD, why doesn't Film City make it mandatory on their part that people who come and shoot there must comply with this basic thing. The toilet should be clean, the food should be good, the canteen should be good. It is not a difficult job, madam, for this from the age of 90. And I've been witnessing many resolutions, many meetings with government, with state. I think it is time now when the Indian counterpart, the producer who was there, he was providing everything. So I told him, why not for our own productions?
And obviously, as we know, that Divya runs a lot of NGOs. She represents the government in some or the other way, and she wanted to understand how the industry functions. At that time, because, I mean, what is... within a fortnight, we had a meeting with Mr. Vinod Tavade and Prakash Mehta, that is the staff of the producers, and the government was very, very, very proactive, and single window clearance was given to producers after Divya initiated that. So we must give her due credit to, and it was just that because, like maybe they do abroad, then it helps all of us. And if we have a great poster for all other crafts of Film City, which is an indoor-outdoor combination location, a location that is spread over about 300, 400 acres, out of which only about 60 acres are being utilized.
Something that I hope will be allowed to use also among our membership to educate our own members within our own bill, where CINTAA was accepted as a member of our federation, and Amit was there. Sushant was also supposed to be there, and we much regretted the fact that he could not make it in the end, although we understood the reasons for that. But Amit was there, and he I have to say there was a lot of solidarity expressed, sympathy, and everybody in the room really felt for the appalling conditions that you guys and your members have to take in every day, day in, day out. and certainly there was not just sympathy, but some very productive synergies, both within the unions in the film industry in the state of Maharashtra, and also from above at international level. There's been a wake-up call. Maybe perhaps that's the most the easiest way to summarize the outcomes of these projects. Somehow, I think we have achieved something that may have seemed obvious years back, but it wasn't so obvious. Because, as you said, Sushant, we are partly responsible for that. We have to understand that enough is enough. Staffers, the directors, the carpenters. This is also an issue for the actors. Yes, the actors, on average, is not taken care of. We're all together in this. We're all sharing the same needs. And I think one of the outcomes, as I said, of this project is that we've come to the point where we're growingly realizing that enough is enough. How cheap can a life be? And human rights, basic human rights, should not be accounted for only as a cost. And what we hear, and this is what we are going to have to face, is the cost factor. We've seen it already. We've seen a letter from one producer that's saying, well, it is all nice, but it's unrealistic. We can't realize that, and realize that together we can change that. It may seem impossible, but I think I've seen the progression in three. We are compiling evidence, and evidence is important when you're speaking to decision makers. This video should be shown. So evidence is important. Being aware of the fact that you're reaching starting with core issues, perhaps focusing on things that are not healthier and safer, that does not that doesn't have a cost factor.
I didn't know that existed. There was a regional presence of the regional industry, which the world has now got to know. The point is that the Indian film industry and its workers have been constantly known as people who come and stop shooting, take bribes, negate what is happening, appease the producer, appease the broadcaster, some crafts, and go away. The actors who are the top 5 or the bottom 5 are not affected. So is the case with the technicians. We just started this. We've started a program called the Outreach Program, which is what we've been collecting and taking photo, audio, visual, written evidences from our members on the sets. Fortunately, because we go on the sets, so other crafts also given their reviews, and those are recorded. That is the kind of data that we are going to be sharing with the broadcasters, with the various producer bodies, with the government agencies. We've already done that on 50 sets in the span of about 2 months, and which includes Film City. This is just Mumbai, and I think another 2 months we'll be doing an all India survey. So the head of production also initials a particular form, which is something that Sushant and Deepakji and Sunilji and our core committee decided that we must do this. Instead of always protesting and raising the red flag, let's collect data. Let's collect data and share it with the producer bodies whenever we have a dispute or even a congenial meeting or over a cup of coffee when they say how things, we'll give them 10 forms. So this is what is happening on your sets. So like, it would be nice and yet tap them straight in their face, but yet realizing the fact that they are our employers. This is what we need to do. And as Thomas has said last time, we need to talk about, as Sushant said, risk management, assessment, the baby steps we need to discuss this time. So let's not talk about just payments. All of us, payment issues are with workers world over in any field, not only media and entertainment. Leave payments aside, that will happen. Okay, now anyway nobody is getting paid because of demonetization, so we don't have the money. So we are not talking. I don't know how Upinder is going to pay for the Congress, for this, but it's alright. So the fact is that the thing is that we just start talking about the baby steps till 6 o'clock in the evening tomorrow. And 6 in the evening tomorrow, I think we should sign on these 4 steps like the Walk of Fame in Hollywood. These are the 4 steps that we've all endorsed. Right?
And we had a federation also, which was also very strong at that time. One of the famous stalwarts of the Indian cinema, Dilip Kumar's film Leader, made by Hindustan, was they had not paid the money to technicians, and the producer decided to take it for processing. I'm talking of 50s, huh? It's not something that is new, but it has not been carried forward effectively. It was with that too in London. They decided that we'll process the film over there. Though we had no formal relation with Back2, the late General Secretary of our training movement, heroes, Mr. Madhusudan, wrote a letter to Back2 because he was very expert in all these matters. And Back2 decided that we will support you. And they could no more have the film process there, and they paid what was to be paid to the workers. That was international. Second call, I recall 2001 Sydney conference of Asian Pacific workers where I was there. The senior have done that, and I think once we have this kind of a thing,
This was
144 countries are at beck and call if we have something.
But you know, what we realized is that an exercise that was taken by our predecessors went to a back foot for 10 years. It's again started. We've seen that very recently. We've seen that in Switzerland when our sister union in Switzerland was able to tag a defaulting producer. We've seen that. We've seen the changes. But the point is that the scenario at that time and the scenario now is also very different. For example, the producers have made it very clear that they are not going to discuss anything that has to do with the internet. Whether it's Netflix or YouTube, there were no disputes, no money cases, not even health and safety if it's anything to do with the internet. They're collecting data on that, so are we. So this is, the moment we say that we've taken one baby step, they've said, so this is not part of the discussion. So we need to put that also into perspective. And I think we've got Savina with us. I think Savina's just joined in. And so we've got our media lawyer also who's going to be shedding some light on the legal aspects of HNS.